looks like we are good to go now, ladies and gentlemen, as we are in the time that being your time, Tide Nation. 205-448-1358. If you don't want to call in and let your voice be heard on the show, 205-448-1358. We appreciate you guys so much for your patience there, for you holding, on the phone lines. Had to get through some technical things here, but we're back rocking and rolling, and we take our first call in the queue on a Wednesday. You're live on In My Own Words. What's going on?
Hey, how's it going, man?
Doing good, man. Doing good. It's Wednesday. I'm doing okay.
All right. I'm new to the channel. I just recently discovered you. It's really great content. I really like it.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate the highs, man.
Yeah.
What's on your mind right now?
Well, I was thinking about the defense and what you're talking about that. Looking at this roster, they have great talent. But do you think that this can be a dominant defense?
It has all the pieces to be. Especially when you look at having a Dylan Moses back who has wanted to be the captain of this type of defense for a long time. He has seen the videos. He's seen the Rolando McClains, the Donta Hightowers, the Reggie Raglins, Reuben Fosters, all of those guys that came before him. So this is something he's wanted for a long time. You've got a Christian Barmore on the defensive line, and a Brian Ray, a DJ Dale, just a plethora of guys in the line. You've got guys in the secondary that have experience, and I've mentioned this before. The last 2 years, these guys saw firsthand Nick Saban is not just yelling to be yelling. He's yelling to get our attention. He's yelling because he is seeing that we're not putting in our effort. And when you don't put in your effort as a player, when you're not operating the way you're supposed to, there is a domino effect. And that domino effect is you lose football games and everybody's agitated, especially, you guys, the fans, you guys, the consumers of college football. So I feel like this team has the ingredients to be dominant defensively with the players coming back, but also most importantly, these guys have the understanding now of when we don't do what the coaching staff asks us to do, we see the results, and the results are not good.
Right, of course. Well, I hope that's the case. Keep up the good work, man. I really like the channel.
Absolutely, man. Appreciate it. Absolutely. Appreciate the love there. Thanks for calling the show, man. Keep listening to us. But we're gonna kind of go straight to, our man of the hour here, Lavelle Durant, the esteemed quarterback developer out of Seattle, Washington, live here on the In My Own Words hotline. My man Lavelle, what's going on, man? Happy to have you back in here.
How you doing, man? Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. We got Lavelle Durant, the elite quarterback developer, on the line here out of Seattle, Washington, who's been working closely with one Paul Tyson, the Crimson Tide quarterback, who's looking to get some big playing time in this upcoming season. Now, Lavelle, kind of my first thought to you played quarterback yourself. You played quarterback in high school. You played quarterback in college. So you know this position more than a lot of people. So what's been kind of the advice? What's been kind of the advice you have been given to Paul from your playing days and what you experienced? What's kind of the biggest advice you have been that you've been sharing with Paul right now?
Don't be a robot. Don't be a robot. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable, man. Nothing goes as scripted. We game plan Monday through Thursday, and on Friday we take it easy and we visualize what's going to happen on Saturday. And once Saturday gets there, nothing that we game plan and scripted goes our way. So, get used to just going on the fly and becoming a playmaker.
Now, from your time just being around him, what's the vibe that you're picking up from Paul in just how, Nick Saban wants his quarterbacks to be? Nick Saban has a huge standard for the quarterback position. He wants you managing the game. I know people put a bad taste on the term game manager, but it's just managing the situation and keeping your team ahead of schedule to win football games. But just from you being around Paul, what's kind of the cues that you've picked up from him on how Nick Saban wants him to operate from that quarterback position?
I think he's hungry, man. You know, if you want to call it a game manager, hey, let's call it that. As long as we're winning games, you know. And if I'm winning games, then I'm gonna get the attention of everybody else. And if I get the attention of everybody else, then I'm heading in the right direction. You know, that's kind of the mentality that I get from him when we're in the field working and when we're on the phone talking and things like that. So you want to call me a game manager? Hey, that's fine. I'm winning these games and I got your attention. So he's hungry, man.
We got Lavelle Durant here on the line. If you're just tuning into the show, the elite quarterback developer working with one Paul Tyson out of Seattle, Washington. Now, I know for a fact that one of the biggest help meets or the biggest beneficiary for a quarterback is having an offensive coordinator that's not only smart but really trust that quarterback to run the offense. And when you look at Steve Sarkisian, he's a West Coast guy, much like yourself, Lavelle. He's been around the block. From Sarkisian's standpoint, how does an offensive coordinator go about, making that quarterback feel comfortable, making that quarterback feel at ease, making that quarterback understand, hey, you're going to be in some uncomfortable situations, and both of us understand that, but I'm going to help you by all I can to get you to maneuver this offense with success. How can a coordinator help that quarterback be more comfortable?
Help him, giving him a rhythm. Get him in a rhythm. Find out what he's comfortable at. Find out what plays. Find out his top 3 favorite plays. Get him in that rhythm, and then don't be afraid to let him stray away from the script a bit and just become that playmaker that he's itching for. So, help him out. Find out his top 3 plays. Let him run his top 3 plays, and then don't be afraid to let him freelance for a bit. I think that'll be a great job to help these young men get into their comfort zone a tad bit faster.
Now, along with working with Paul, you've also mentioned to me, Lavelle, that you've also spent some time with Bryce Young as well. So for a guy in Bryce who did not have a spring, and I know that was unfortunate for him due to the coronavirus, he's out there going through the walkthroughs with the team right now. So what does he need to do in terms of his development and trying to get on the field and trying to play and trying to create the name for himself? What do you look to see from Young this season, or what would you like to see, from Young this season?
Just become a sponge, man. Become a sponge and soak up any and everything that you can get from the upperclassmen and the guys that have a tad bit more experience than him. Bryce is a freak athlete. Bryce is a guy that's going to get on the field and immediately just do his thing, So learn that offense, man. Learn your surroundings, learn what's going on, and he'll be all right.
Absolutely. He's Lavelle Durant, ladies and gentlemen, the elite, esteemed quarterback developer out of Seattle, Washington. He's been working with Paul Tyson and Bryce Young as well. Happy to have you back on here again, man. We're going to do this soon, but as always, be safe, be careful. Don't get too much of a tan on the West Coast, but be good.
Oh, man, no problem, man. I'm going to tell you right now, man, I got to take you on the road with me. The introduction is the best, man. I do a lot of radio, and the introduction I get here, I love it.
Hey, you know what, man? That's what we do. We make you comfortable, we put you at ease, and we let you do your thing. But, my man, you be good.
You as well, man. Take care, man. Stay safe, and I hope all's well.
As being Lavelle Durant, esteemed elite quarterback developer working with one Paul Tyson Bryce Young, also out of Seattle, Washington. But we're going to get back into the call lines right now to talk to you, the Crimson Tide faithful, the Crimson Tide fan base. So you are live right now on In My Own Words Caller. What's on your mind on a Wednesday?
Hey, Steven, my man, how you doing?
Man, doing well, man. Doing well. As always, you got to roll with the punches sometimes on Wednesday. Sometimes technology's up, sometimes technology's down. But just like Coach Saban, you got to always find a way to bounce back and work around stuff.
I hear you, buddy. I got 2 things I want to run by you. You touched on it on your previous one of your shows, that it's that defensive line, that pass rush, because I've always, from coaches, from analysts, the most important thing you can have besides a great quarterback is an elite pass rusher, because that makes everybody else's job easier. You're going to have possibly, like you say, Christian Barmore, Will Anderson, who I think is going to be an absolute freak. He is a Tim Williams clone.
I think potentially Will Anderson can be the next Tim Williams. He could potentially be the next Tim Williams, or if he really hits, maybe he could be better than Tim, but right now, I think he could be the next Tim Williams. Absolutely.
Right, and yeah, it's just in the detail on the wrestling line. Of course, you know, you got Drew Sanders and everybody, but there's one kid I don't really hear anybody talking about in the secondary, the freshman, that Brian Branch kid out of Georgia. Dude, if you've seen any of his highlight tape, is an animal. He's like a Tyrann Mathieu, Ed Reed hybrid, straight ball hawk. Odell one hand catches it in the secondary. I don't know if you've heard any news about him, but if this kid gets a shot, you know, he's coming in with this 2020 class. I would love to see him on the field, but I don't know if you've heard of him. Do you got any info on him?
Well, first and foremost, I want to thank you for waiting patiently on the phone line there for us to get to you. So appreciate your patience, man. But now getting into Brian Branch, heard a lot on Brian Branch. Watched a lot of his film, and like you said, he is an Ed Reed type of guy. He is a Tyrann Mathieu type of guy. He is not only just a headhunter, but a ball hawk in terms of the football. I know what I've been told from people I have been in conversations with. Coach Saban wants to see the veteran players lock down the secondary and do their job, the veterans, the experienced guys. But if there was a freshman that could sneak in there and possibly take a spot and show some guys up, it would be a Brian Branch. I remember Branch on social media, he had quote tweeted something that Minkah Fitzpatrick put out, and he referred to Minkah as his idol. And we all remember when Minkah came in 2015, he stole the show. He turned some heads, and he became, you know, as a freshman, one of the most impactful players, leaders on that team. So while Coach Saban wants to see the leaders, the veterans, lock down that secondary, if there is a freshman that can infiltrate that force field and say, hey, my time is now, I'm big bank, that would be Brian Branch.
Right, and you also got to understand these freshmen. Saban runs a complex defense, so just because you can be an athlete, but you got to have the mental fortitude, you got to have the understanding of the playbook before you can, you know, access all of your skills and put them to good use. But man, listen, thank you for taking my call. I hope you stay safe. I'm enjoying the show, and you guys have a good rest of your night.
Appreciate the call, man. Keep listening to us. Awesome getting the love here, you know, from the great fans, Alabama football fans. We'll take another call here in the queue. You're live on In My Own Words. What's going on?
What's up, Steven? This is Sean from Huntsville. How you doing, man?
My man, doing well. First and foremost, thank you so much for your patience. Technology can be a crazy thing, but thank you for your patience, Sean.
Man, no problem, no problem. Just wanted to call real quick points, man, and see what you thought real quick. I got some partners that's still down there on campus and moving around, and they hearing a lot of big things about Trey Sanders, and I'm hearing that Landon Dickerson, along with Alex Leatherwood, say Landon Dickerson is down there becoming a real vocal leader, like of the whole team. Like, say Landon down there causing a lot of positive things to happen, man. Want to see what you thought about that.
Landon Dickerson's a dog. I mean, he's an animal. He is a guy that, and once again, he had that in him at Florida State. Now, of course, Florida State probably doesn't have the amenities that Alabama has, but Dickerson was a big-time leader, big-time five-star player, you know, for the Seminoles. And, you know, for me with Landon, it's always been, I love the tenacity, I love the angriness, I love the mean streak, I love the physicality. Just can he kind of tone down some of the extracurricular things he does after the whistle? If he can tone that down, Landon Dickerson's a big-time NFL prospect because I love what he brings physically on the field. I love what he brings. I like what Leatherwood brings. Evan Neal is a freak. At 6'7", 360 pounds. If y'all haven't watched that video of him work with Dr. Ray, you missed a treat because that was just insane. But this is an offensive True. Absolutely. So this offensive line is the real deal. But I'm hearing great things about Trey Sanders. I mean, he can do a lot of things well on the field with the football. If he didn't get hurt in fall camp last year, who knows how many carries he could have taken from a Najee Harris or Brian Robinson. I'm hearing some good things about Jace McClellan, the freshman. People are looking at him like he could be a Josh Jacobs type. So far, there have been some really good things in the preseason practice program. I'm just happy that the SEC has dropped fall camp. Fall camp's coming on August 17th. I'm ready to get my camera out here and get you guys the photos, videos, and all that good stuff, good information. But Landon Dickerson being a leader, that does not surprise me. He's always had that mentality about himself.
If you remember, Stephen, I told you, I think it was last week, that I had heard that practice was about to start here. I think it was supposed to start August 7th, I think it was.
Yeah.
And they pushed it back. Have you heard anything about the schedules? I mean, are they going to keep the same schedule and just let us just add two more teams, or have you heard anything about the schedule?
Well, right now, Alabama's first game of the season is still set for September 26th. The question is, will the first game be Georgia? That's the question, because the set schedule is not here yet. Now, of course, most people felt like, Georgia would be the first game. It's still not out of the realm of possibility, but we could maybe see Vanderbilt as the first game. Maybe we see Arkansas as the first game. So while the first contest for the Tide will be September 26th, who will the Tide play first? That is still up for determination. But just for fall camp, they've pushed that back to August 17th. So Alabama will continue with walkthroughs and strength training and film study and all that good stuff. They'll continue with that up until August 16th.
Okay, man. Well, I appreciate it, man. Big shout out to my man Waitr. I know you say he called Friday. I'm reading. I was looking forward to hearing him call. I appreciate you taking my call, and as always, we will continue to support.
Absolutely. Appreciate the love that coming from you, Sean. Keep it easy, man.
No problem, bro.
Gotta love Sean. Sean always calling in with some great thought-provoking points, some good insight on his end as a concerned, avid, passionate fan there of the Crimson Tide. We gotta also give a shout out here to Spencer Revley. Again, another $100 in the super chats, man. Spencer making it rain right now. Spencer Revley making it rain. Another $100 coming from another $10 coming from Spencer Revley. So the first one was $100. The second one was $10 here from Spencer Revley here. Here we go. Don't give up on Steven. So don't give up on Steven. Appreciate the love there coming from Spencer Revley. If you're not giving up on me, Spencer, then I'm not going to give up on me either. So appreciate you guys as fans sticking with us here despite some technical things that happened early on in the show. But as always, 205-448-1358. And I'm going to call in to be a part of the show. Want to hear from you and also get your thoughts there in the YouTube chat line as well. But kind of a topic here as we play this video of Evan Neal right quick. And I mentioned this in the conversation with Sean, the last caller. Look at this video of Evan Neal. Evan Neal is 6'7", 360 pounds. He is going into his sophomore season, so still young, still a pup. 6'7", 360, making this type of a plyon jump here, working with Dr. Matt Ray. This is insane. This is insane when you look at what Ray and Ballou are doing with their profile power metrics, with their speed metrics, with the peak power, peak flexibility metrics. Like this is awesome. This is fantastic. And this just shows just the athletic ability of Neal. And Neal, much like Dylan Moses, was also down there at IMG. So Ballou and Ray have known Neal for quite some time, and just getting a chance to work with Neal early on in the process as a high schooler, seeing him here at the University of Alabama, getting the chance to get back with him, watching him excel here on the offensive line, along with helping Dylan Moses at linebacker. Ballou and Ray at work big time here. And after seeing this video of Neal, he puts on a show this season, then look forward to the 2022 draft. That guy is going to be a first round pick, a top 5 pick, top 10 pick. just bucket right there, for Evan Neal, as he is an absolute stud there on the offensive line. But we also have another interesting, fun topic here, and it's Ryan Fitzpatrick. Ryan Fitzpatrick of the Miami Dolphins, he's going to enter his 16th season in the NFL at the quarterback position, his second with the Dolphins, as he was drafted in the 7th round when he came out of Harvard, drafted in the 7th round. I believe he came out in the 2005 venue there. But you look at Ryan Fitzpatrick here, and he knows that he's a good quarterback. He's a solid quarterback, but he knows in Miami, Tua's the guy. When you draft somebody in the top 5, top 10, and you pay them a fully guaranteed, $30+ million contract with a 5th-year option there, you know that guy's the future. The team is going to look to get that guy on the field. They're looking to sell jerseys, sell bobbleheads, sell ad space, have that guy be the future of the franchise. So check out the understanding of Ryan Fitzpatrick, the respect that Fitzpatrick is given to and the knowledge of, hey, I'm going to try my best to make plays when I'm out there on the field, but I know that this young gun, this guy right here, is the future. Check out Ryan Fitzpatrick talking about Tua Tagovailoa.
I don't know how much time it'll be before Tua is in the lineup. I know that I am the placeholder, and we've already had that conversation. I told him, I'm going to do the best I can to lead this team and, to win football games when I'm out there. And whenever it is that Tua gets his chance, whether it's early or late or whenever it is, I'm going to be his biggest cheerleader.
Oh, man. Look at the man there, Ryan Fitzpatrick. Ryan Fitzpatrick of the Miami Dolphins just saying he's going to be the cheerleader for Tua Tagovailoa. He knows he's a good quarterback. He knows he's a solid quarterback, but he also knows that the game has left him, basically. The game has left him. He's going to do all he can on the field to keep Miami in position to win football games when he's out there. But at the same time, he also knows, hey, this guy was drafted top 5, top 10. This guy's the future. This guy is the one that the organization believes is going to get this team to the Super Bowl at some point. So, when Tua gets a shot, I'm going to be the guy in his amen corner, give him that support. But we take another break here on the show, folks. Don't touch that dial. Upon our return, we jump into one Steve Sarkisian, who enters his 2nd year as offensive coordinator for the Crimson Tide. How creative can he be? How detail-oriented can he be? We'll talk about Sarknado on the other side of the break. You're listening to In My Own Words.
If you're an avid Alabama Crimson Tide fan and you love to flaunt it, then show your Alabama Crimson Tide support by grabbing the All-Bama sneakers. They feature bold Crimson Tide graphics, so no one will be able to question where your allegiance lies. When you add these sweet sneakers to your Alabama Crimson Tide collection, go to STSFootwear.com and use the code TDAlabama for $15 off your purchase. That's code TDAlabama for $15 off your purchase. Go to STSFootwear.com and get your All-Bama sneakers today. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $5.95 per month or pay $49.95 for a full year subscription. That's a saving of almost $22. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide.
All right, Tide Nation, we are back in from the break here on the hottest show on the streets on a Wednesday hump day. Number one forum for Crimson Tide football news, notes, and information, that being In My Own Words with yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Got the man John Ivory in the production studio, and we appreciate every last one of you for tuning in, for your patience, for your support here on the channel. And also, Tide Nation phone line still open, 205-448-1358. You have questions, you have thoughts, you have concerns, phone line still open, 205-448-1358. Want to hear from you. 205 448-1358. But as you guys are getting your thoughts together here, we now look at one Steve Sarkisian, offensive coordinator for the Crimson Tide, pocketing that cool $2.5 million. That cool $2.5 million here. Got that contract approved by the University of Alabama Board of Trustees on the day. But Sark came back to Alabama this past season after 2 years with the Atlanta Falcons in the National Football League as the offensive coordinator. And, Sark last year did a great job. People at times don't give him his credit, but Sark did a great job last year. You look at, Alabama's offense scored 47.2 points per game, the most of the Nick Saban era. And despite some injuries offensively, including one to Tua Tagovailoa, you still had a quarterback in Tua that nearly had a 3,000-yard passing season, 33 touchdowns to just 3 interceptions. Could have won the Heisman Trophy if he would have stayed healthy there. You still had a 1,200-yard running back, Najee Harris, 1,224 yards. You had 2 1,000-yard receivers in Devontae Smith and Jerry Jeudy. And also you had an offensive line that only gave up, 12 sacks and 418 pass attempts. So Sark did a good job. Sark did a strong job. And even when Tua got hurt, he helped Mac Jones feel comfortable in getting out there on the field. And as Jones continued to progress throughout the latter portion of the season, especially against Auburn and Michigan in the Citrus Bowl, he came into his own in both of those matches. But Sark in now year 2 here with the Crimson Tide as the OC, as the main play caller. Year 2 means a lot here for Alabama in terms of offensive guys. When you look at, first and foremost, Jim McElwain, 2009, his second year as the play caller, won a national championship, had a Heisman winner in Mark Ingram. Lane Kiffin, in his second year as the play caller, 2015, won a national championship, had the Heisman winner in Derrick Henry. Now, am I saying that Sarkisian needs to have a Heisman winner this year? I mean, that would be nice. He's had a couple of them. He's had, Matt Leinart at USC in 2004, Carson Palmer at USC in 2002. Reggie Bush won the Heisman at USC in 2005, but due to NCAA sanctions, he had to voluntarily give the Heisman back, and it's vacated. But, it is what it is. Sarkisian has had some Heisman winners in his past. So, could he get the Heisman winner this upcoming season? That would be nice, but more so important than that is getting the national championship when you discuss this among Alabama football fans, you guys. So for Sark here, year 2, and trying to get this championship, there are 2 things that will be weighing heavily on Sark's mind. 2 things weighing heavily on Sark's mind here. The number one thing is, how comfortable can he have this quarterback room in year 2? And most importantly, the starting quarterback, as it looks like that will be Mac Jones here for the upcoming season. How comfortable can he have the quarterback room here? Because as crazy as Lane Kiffin was, as controversial as Lane Kiffin was, as unorthodox as Lane Kiffin was, you gotta give Kiffin his credit on this. There were some things that Kiffin did better than any other offensive mind in the game. You got to give the man his credit for this. But number one thing that Kiffin was great at, Kiffin was great at getting a quarterback room comfortable. You can't tell me he didn't know how to do that. Kiffin was great and getting quarterbacks comfortable. You go back to 2014, Blake Sims was a nervous wreck out there at times, and Kiffin was like, son, pimp juice, brother, young man, look at me. Look at me, Blake. Son, look at me, young man. Look at me, Blake. Look at me. I got you. You know what you're doing. Use your arm. Use your feet, Blake Sims. I got you. You gonna be all right, Blake. You gonna be all right. And it was because of Lane Kiffin. Blake Sims set single-season score records, had one of the prettiest deep balls in Alabama football history, got the Tide to the Southeastern Conference title game and won it. Got the Tide to the first, college football playoff in 2014. So, Lane Kiffin got Blake Sims comfortable. And in 2015, he got Jacob Coker comfortable. I mean, Jake Coker's mind was moving at 100 miles a minute, and Kiffin's like, calm your butt down. It's going to be all right. Stop thinking so darn much. Just go out there, play football, Jake. You got that arm. You toting that thing. Just let it pop. Let it rip. You a cannon. Go out there, Jake, and just play football. And because of Lane Kiffin, Jake Coker, a 3,000-yard quarterback in 2015, and the last 3 games of that season, Florida in the SEC Championship, Michigan State in the CFP semifinal, the Goodyear Cotton Bowl, and against Clemson in the national championship game, Coker was one of the best quarterbacks in the country on the field. Why? Lane Kiffin got him comfortable. Even down to Jalen Hurts in his freshman year in 2016. Lane Kiffin made Jalen Hurts feel comfortable, and he set records. SEC Freshman of the Year, SEC Offensive Player of the Year. So that's one thing Kiffin did a great job of. He got players to feel comfortable. The second thing that Kiffin did a great job at, he had a keen sense of understanding where we are, we being Alabama, and what this program, what this offense needs in terms of the moment. So if Alabama needed a big play, Kiffin knew, okay, we got this team backed into a corner. Let's get a big play going. Let's get a big bomb. Let's get, an explosive play. Let's go over the top. Let's take some shots here. So Kiffin knew that. And then if there was a moment where the defense got tired and you were able to run the football on those guys, lean on those guys, he turned that attention to, one Derrick Henry. So when you look at Sarkisian here, 2 things he's got to do. Number 1, got to get the quarterback room as comfortable as possible. Sark does. But then number 2, how creative can he be? How creative can Sark be, and how detail-oriented can Sark be in terms of understanding where this Alabama team is in certain possessions, certain games, or certain moments? And it's because he's battling with 2 different thoughts here. The first thought is Nick Saban's thought of wanting more ball control, right? Wanting more ball control, wanting to run the football more, wanting the ground and pound game, wanting to take the air out of the building, leaning on opposing defenses, having that offensive line flex his muscle, limiting the opportunities of the opposing team, on the field. So Coach Saban wants to get back to the ground and pound game. U.S. fans, you guys want to see more of the ball being ran as well through these backs on the roster. But while he's got Saban's mindset to deal with, Sarkisian also has to look at the receivers that are coming in here now. These 4- and 5-star receivers coming into the program now. What has drawn them? The passing game. I've gotten the chance to talk with so many people, but the main guy, our own Justin Smith, the lead scouting and recruiting analyst for TDA, and the conversations I've had with Justin, I've been told by him that, these receivers coming into the program, they're like, I like how Alabama's coaching staff uses the receivers. I love their ability to be able to, distribute the ball to so many guys and feature so many guys. You saw what Jerry Jeudy did. You saw what Henry Ruggs III did. Both of those guys in the NFL. We're seeing what Devontae Smith's doing. We're seeing what Jalen Waddle's doing. For 2021 draft, they're going to be in the league. I want some of that. I want in on that. I want that big play production. I want to catch the football. I want to be a part of this explosive offense. So Sarkisian's passing game is bringing in the likes of so many guys, on the field. So he's got the run game he's got to deal with. And then on top of that, he's got the mindset of, trying to, appease these wide receivers coming into the program, because every time a 4- and a 5-star guy comes in, U.S. Tide fans are going, I like this guy. I love that guy. Can we see that guy on the field? When are we going to see him make plays? When is that guy going to touch the field and be explosive? And with getting commitments from Christian Leary and getting commitments from Aja Hall and Ja'Cory Brooks, those guys want to be a part of a fun, excited, creative passing game. So Sarkisian has a lot on his plate to balance right now. And just for me, with the talent that Alabama's built up at the running back position, at wide receiver, and at tight end, I would love to see the Tide go four wide one time. Shotgun formation, having running back, Najee Harris flank next to Mac Jones and go 4 wide. Let's have a moment where, Bama can have, Mechie, Waddle, Slade Bolden, and Devontae Smith all on the field at one time. And that's hot. I would really like to see that happen. Traditionally, Bama goes 3 wide receivers, but I would like a situation where, Bama goes 4 wide. Or better yet, can Bama go 5 wide? Have a moment where you're flexing a Najee Harris out wide, or a Jace McClellan out wide, or a Trey Sanders out wide, and get one of those tight ends flexed out wide. Let's for Alabama, it's about making the opposition defend every inch of the field, every blade of grass on that field. Force the defensive backs, force the defensive coordinators to defend every inch of the football field. So, for Sark, how creative can he be with this offense, with the talent that he's got, and then the attention to details in the moment. When can he be able to decipher at this moment? Okay, we need some momentum. Got to have a big play. Got to have a big bomb. Got to take the top off the defense. Got to be explosive here. Versus okay, here's a moment where their defensive line's looking tired. Their defensive front's looking tired. Let's get this offensive line flexing some muscle, and let's run the football up and down the field. But that's just some thoughts there, on Steve Sarkisian. Had a great year in 2019, but this year, second year as the offensive coordinator. Jim McElwain won national championship second year. Lane Kiffin won a national championship in his second year. It is now Sark's turn. How will he go about balancing the run game as well as the passing attack? And that remains to be seen. But folks, as always, you want the best in news, notes, information, and coverage here on your Crimson Tide. It's very simple and easy to do. You can get this by accessing the Touchdown Alabama Magazine app. You download the app from the iPhone App Store if you're rocking Team Apple, Google Play Store if you just so happen to have the Android phone. For the podcast, for the audio listening needs, you can get that via iTunes or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker, TuneIn Radio, Overcast.fm, or iHeartRadio. We got you covered on the network. If the good and gracious Lord sees fit, I'll return on Friday, continuing the conversation that is Tide football. As always, fans, you subscribe to Touchdown Alabama Magazine. You go to touchdownalabama.com, click join, be a part of our community, be a part of our, foundation, our home, as we get you the best in Tide football. Just $5.95 a month. You get the best in Alabama football coverage. You get the annual magazine and the most exceptional recruiting news from our own Justin Smith. So touchdownalabama.com, click join, be a part of our family. Link will be found there in the description. As always, you can purchase individual copies of Touchdown Alabama Magazine, have those sent to your door. That link in the description. Special shout out to my man Jay Lee for dropping in $100 in the super chats. Appreciate that, Jay Lee. As always, one of our faithful listeners, showing love to the network. But as always, folks, husbands, love your wives. Wives appreciate, value those husbands. Children, continue doing those things legitimately now to not be bored. Get you those 3 hearty meals a day, those 3 great laughs a day. Protect yourself, protect the loved ones around you. Until next time, folks, I'm your man, Stephen M. Smith, and this has been In My Own Words.